And welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. We have another 5-year rebuild. I haven't done one of these now in a handful of months. But this time around, we're going to be rebuilding the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I'm too lazy to go through and do everything that currently has happened in the NFL. So year one will kind of be a very quick wash. We're going to go through this roster. For starters, I'm going with Michael Penix here. This is meant to be fun. So Penix is our starting quarterback. We'll see if he can lead us into anything at the age of 24. He has normal development. I don't know. You know, quarterback is something on my mind with this team early on. Improving this offensive line, you know, Jake Matthews won't be around forever. And we have, you know, Drew Dahlman here, who is expected to be a free agent. McGarry here, he's a normal dev, but he's aging. I think we're pretty good at weapons. You know, we have Kyle Pitts, we have Drake London and Bijan Robinson. So we're good at weapons. You know, we'll see if Darnell Mooney or Rondale Moore will step in to any sort of potent role, but we'll see. And then defensively, the Falcons in this past draft drafted 2 young front 7 men. We'll see how they'll play. Grady Jarrett, he could potentially be a cut casualty like in real life. We'll see. But, you know, the player to keep your eye out for is Jesse Bates here. He's our top safety, best player on the team, I believe, as well. So let's get through year one. We'll get to... I'm actually just going to kind of let year one play out. I am not going to go to the midseason. We're going to start right at the postseason, and we'll see what happens with this team. I haven't done these in a while, so if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below who you guys think I should be doing next. But yeah, guys, I haven't done this in a while. It's a goal of mine to do all 32 teams. We did 8 about 4 months ago, and so we're gonna get back into it. Hopefully you guys will like the mixture between this and the Giants rebuild. I'm gonna try to get through these as quickly as I can. So as year one's about to wrap up here, let's go see our record and stuff. Well, with year one wrapped up here in the Falcons and the Falcons 5-year rebuild, Jesus Christ, we went 6-11. A terrible defense, a okay offense. We got some solid development from Michael Penix. He's developed all the way up to now an 80 overall, but which kind of helps to put it into perspective for you guys. You know, I'm assuming that Penix, you know, had either a fantastic season. It looks like he did. And that does mean that we don't have to really focus on quarterback, which would be nice, especially because of the fact that we have just start off year one, a top draft pick. Penix threw 32 touchdowns, 22 interceptions, not too shabby. Bijan Robinson didn't hit 1,000 yards, which is kind of surprising. Darnell Mooney went over 1,300 yards and 18 scores, so he very much proved himself, really his worth here in Atlanta in his first season. He's on a big 3-year contract with us. Didn't get much other players involved, but that's okay. Offensive line, our tackles struggled. The interior played a lot better, but tackles letting up a combined total of 29 sacks. That's just not good at all. Cade Ellis had 120 tackles, did very well for us. In terms of TFLs, Trey Sierra, a rookie defensive or rookie outside linebacker, 13 TFLs. And our other rookie, where is he? Rude here had 6 TFLs. He had 1 sack. Grady Jarrett led us the way in sacks with 7.5. And then a few guys getting some interceptions. So stat-wise, we need to really rehaul this defense. That is right where my brain is going. MVP is Josh Allen. We'll go through the NFC. McCaffrey's the Offensive Player of the Year. Ernest Jones is the Defensive Player of the Year. Michael Penix is right behind Marvin Harrison Jr. Dallas Turner Defensive Rookie of the Year, Prudy and McCaffrey. Moody here, he gets Receiver of the Year. And I think that will probably be the only, yeah, that's the only award we get. So let's sim now to, let's get to the off season and let's check out the Pro Bowl, see if we have any players on that roster. Pro Bowl roster will only focus on the NFC. I don't see Penix, I don't see our running backs. Darnell Moody's #1, so he could get a development trait, like increase. Chris Lindstrom as well. And I don't think we'll have anyone on defense. I think that's one of our defensive tackles. Regardless, we need to rehaul this defense. And that's what I'm planning to do, hopefully here in year 1. So let's get to Super Bowl week and let's start this thing. And it's not the Eagles that won the Super Bowl, it is the 49ers, or the New York Jets, excuse me. Aaron Rodgers gets his MVP. As you guys can see, all the award winners. But time to switch gears and look at the off season, have some fun. In terms of retirements, I don't expect any Falcons. I mean, maybe 1 or 2, but yeah, I don't see any Falcons, so no retirements on our team. So yeah, let's get to the re-signing phase and see if I'm going to keep anyone. We have 21 players to negotiate with. And AJ Trell, his contract's up. Drake London, his 5th-year option. Darnell Moody, or Rondale Moore, excuse me, his contract's up as well. Our starting offensive line, one of our linemen. And we don't have a lot of money here. The biggest one that I have to keep is AJ Terrell, and I want him for the next 5 years. And he re-signed, so we keep a very important player. For Drake London, I will pick up this 5th-year option, and with everyone else, I'm gonna have to let go. We'll see if we can create any sort of cap. But we'll see. Let's first check out regression. So this is the current state of the team. One player I immediately see that I could just kind of trade away now is Tyler Algier. Could potentially get like a late round draft pick for him. So, but we definitely need a 3rd receiver. Definitely need a center. Everything else for right now we're okay in terms of, unless I decide to cut someone. Defensively, we need help at corner. We need a new safety. We just need a little bit of everything. So I'm gonna go check around the team, see if there's any sort of cuts or any sort of trades before we hop into free agency. Well, this is one unfortunate thing. We can't move Kirk Cousins. So Cousins is gonna be our backup quarterback. Not super in love with that, to be honest with you guys. And after restructuring some contracts, I got us back to $23 million. So I do think we can make some impactful signings. Now, none of these big free agents will be able to bring in, but I do think getting a couple defensive playmakers to help out our defense is what's needed for this team. So I'm going to try to make a couple signings here. This is not like real life free agency whatsoever. So I got 4 targets, all on 1-year deals. So Xavier Howard, a corner, Puda Ford, a defensive tackle, Josh Achu here, a pass rusher, and then Tony Adams, a safety. Just trying to get some quality, both depth and potential starting caliber players. So that's going to be free agency for us. Let's get to the draft. As we have made it to the NFL draft, I quickly want to look at the roster. So tackle is a concern, but it might be something I kick down the can for next season. Center is definitely a position of need. Same thing for 3rd receiver. I did not trade Tyler Algier. This could be a time that I do if I want to trade back up into the 1st round. Defensively, considering to add another linebacker on the inside. We did not get Puda Ford, so a defensive tackle is needed. Didn't get Xavier Worthy either, so a corner is needed. So we have a couple pretty significant needs to improve this defense. We have the 9th overall pick, so let's get there. I'm not trading up. I haven't even looked at the class yet. So we see a couple pass rushes, a quarterback, another pass rusher, another quarterback, pass rushers and 1 receiver within this top 10 as we pick here at 9. Let's go see this draft class. This is the first time I'm looking at it. So, I mean, I guess the CPU decided to look at quarterbacks for us. We're not drafting a quarterback. So maybe a receiver here would make some sense. Definitely not a tight end. I'm not thinking offensive, or I would draft a tackle if there is a good one out there. But let me take some time here. I will also look at defensive players because that's also our very big need for us. So let me go take a look at some prospects. So here with the 9th overall pick, we're going to go with Trey Landry here, a corner. I felt like he was the best option here. Landry will be the pick here. So pairing him up with AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates, trying to reconfigure this defense. He's the ranked 13th player, got him at 9. We'll make plays in zone coverage. Concerns about his speed, slow reaction in terms of plays. He's normal dev, 92 speed. We need a solid number 2 corner, and Landry should be able to provide that for us. In terms of other prospects, I didn't find anyone else that I'm wanting to go get, so I'm just going to send him now to our next pick. Staying on the defensive side, Brian Pierman here, a linebacker, solid enough speed. He looks like he's going to be good in coverage, and he's 21 years old, so he can develop into that. He's not going to be the number 1 linebacker on our defense, but he will be an impactful starter. So we start off with 2 defensive players, and this is a reach. He was supposed to pick 106, but 87 speed, something we can work with. He'll rack up a bunch of tackles. I do like this selection for us. I just need to leave this draft class guaranteeing myself a center, so Brad Carr here will be the pick. Better in run blocking, it doesn't matter. It's a B+ pick. We got him right around his value, and he's hidden development. So maybe getting a late steal here in the early 3rd round. I don't think we pick again here in the 3rd. So yeah, so I'm gonna now let CPU takes day 3. That's how I like to do this, just to speed up the process a little bit, because I can talk a lot. So I wanted more direction here in the first off season to get 3 impactful starters here in the draft, and I think we did so. Landry's a 76 overall, normal dev, but 82 zone coverage to start off. He's a good enough athlete. I think Landry will be a solid day 1 starter for us. Fairman here, good linebacker, 65 zone coverage, solid to start with. He has good hit power too. I think Pyramid could definitely develop into something for us. And then with our last pick that I made, Brad Carr is a 72 overall center, very well rounded to start off. Carr will probably be our starting center all the rest of this rebuild. I see the CPU drafted us Josh Aldra here, and he will be probably our number 3rd receiver to start the season. So yeah, let's get into year 2 and let's have some fun. As we're about to get year 2 kicked off here, yeah, the expectations are kind of high for these rookies. 4 of them are going to be starting day 1. Carr, Alger, and Landry, as well as Pyramid. I don't expect this team to be particularly good this season again. But this is a pretty big year, I think, for Michael Penix to kind of prove himself. I'm not going to put... I would say year 3 for him is the year that I would... If this team does not improve, year 3 is when I will consider drafting a quarterback. But let's sim to the mid-season, see if I want to make any sort of trades or start the re-signing phase. As the Falcons currently sit at 4-3, so sitting right around 500. We have improved defensively, which is nice to see. And currently, where are we? We're currently the 7th seed in terms of the playoff race. So how have we got to this point halfway through the season? Penix has played very well, which is nice to see. Bijan Robinson is producing highly. Josh here, our rookie, has 6 scores. He's playing well. Drake London's having, and Darnell Moody's both kind of not producing. But Kyle Pitts is playing well. He has caught 6 touchdowns. Offensive line hasn't allowed too many sacks. And defensively, Grady Jarrett leads us the way. And then Tony Adams has 2 interceptions leading the way. So far, pretty average. In terms of re-signing players, currently have $48 million. Kyle Pitts, Tyler Algier, Cade Ellis here. I do think some of these guys I will consider attempting to make a trade. But we'll see if I will be able to do so. But one player that I think we need to at least make a solid attempt to is Kyle Pitts. So I'm going to offer him a 4-year deal, and he's starting to like the offer. And now I'm going to see if I can make any sort of trades here, because I think we should. So I've traded Tyler Algier to the LA Chargers for their 3rd round pick. I think this is a very fair trade for both teams. So I'm basically giving up our defensive line, trading away Grady Jarrett and David, Cade Ellis. Our whole front 7 moves on. I also trade a 3rd or a 4th and a 6th to acquire a 2nd round pick from the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are trying to make another run. They had a lot of money, and these are 3 guys that I don't see myself attempting to bring back. So we're going to look to move off of them and get a 2nd round pick in return. As I sim to the next week now, we see that we fall to the Seahawks, and I am trying to work on the contract here for Kyle Pitts. Just trying to, I will give him more money. That's fine with me. I think Pitts can be a pillar for our offense, and he does sign, so we'll have our starting tight end for the rest of the season and for years to come. For everyone else here, I'm probably not considering bringing back, and I'm not looking to make another trade. I think getting an extra 3rd and 2nd is enough. So 4-4, let's see if we can, for one, break our win total from a year ago of 6, and let's see if we can make the postseason as well. As your Falcons went on a nice little run here to make it to the postseason, so wild card team going 9-8. Actually, we won the division. Oh wow, we won a weak NFC South, and we were able to get the division crown barely. Who was the players that helped us the most? Definitely Michael Penix here. 36 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, over 4,000 passing yards. Excellent year from him. Bijan Robertson went for 1,200 yards and 11 scores. That's much better. Josh Shear went for 1,218 scores. I guess the slot receiver is just dominant here in franchise mode. But Moody and London each, I would say, had respectful seasons. 8 and 900 yards respectfully. Kyle Pitts also scored 8 times. Nice to see that. Jake Matthews allowed 11 sacks. That's not good. Defensively, well, we really didn't get much pressure, but AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates, Tony Adams, and Chuck Clark, and Trey Landry each were able to pick up turnovers, which probably helped us out a lot. In terms of yearly awards, Patrick Mahomes is your MVP. St. Brown, Hayden Hutchinson's Josh Shear, he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. He was the 4th round pick the CPU got for us. No one on the defense besides Landry got into the top 10. And then I don't expect to see any Falcons here. And no, we don't. So 9-8, we have made it to the postseason. We have now to face against this Lions team. Can we get our first postseason win? And we do, beating them 42-24. And now we play against this Niners team here in year 2, guys. And this is tremendous for our team. So here in year 2, can we get to a NFC Championship game? Here in year 2 for also Michael Penix. And no, we're kicked out. We lost 24-14. So a good start to this rebuild so far. I'm typically pretty bad at this, especially the simming. So let's get to the Super Bowl and let's see what we can do in the offseason. As the Chiefs win here in the Super Bowl, as we see Josh here, he gets the honor here. So our rookie receiver, he could develop into something pretty nice for us. In terms of retirements, I don't expect to see any of us. If we do, it's Logan Thomas. That's fine. You know, he was kind of just more of a depth player that I brought in. But let's go to the sim to the next week and check out the roster. Current state of this team, we see Carr has star development, and I'm surprised that Josh here did not get a development boost. So he did get starred. He actually got to superstar, and then he went down 2 for some reason. Now that doesn't make much sense to me. So I'm gonna edit him and I'm gonna give him superstar development. I don't do this too often, but I feel like in this particular situation, he earned it and he deserves it. So Josh, you have superstar development here. He worked for it. He went for 1,200 yards and 18 scores. He's definitely a superstar in my eyes. Here's the current state of the defense. No new development traits for anyone, especially our 2 rookies. That's unfortunate to see. So let's see the re-signing. We have a little bit of money, $57 million, or 58. Bijan Robinson's 5th-year option, I'm absolutely picking up. And I don't see myself wanting to bring back any of these guys. These guys were all, you know, band-aids for the team. And for right now, I don't really want that. I did see our punter, so actually I want to keep him. And Bradley Pittman here signs the extension, so I don't have to worry about my punter. Got to think about kicker now, but let's sim here to open free agency. And after letting players go, tackle is glaring need for this offensive line. We have 5 or 4 other good starters. And then for everything else, the offense is kind of complete in my eyes. Can we move off of Kirk Cousins? Let's see. Theoretically, we could. I might. That will be a last resort here before we check out free agency. Defensively, we need to help the interior of this defensive line, another corner, a safety, linebacker. We need everything on defense. So Kirk Cousins might be a cut casualty if there's a lot of good free agent players out here. So we see DJ Moore, see Mike Evans, Leo Kennel here, young linebacker. He could be a good option to bring in. I need to only focus on the defense, so not really a strong safety class here in open free agency. Corner, we could bring in one of these young guys and have a solid unit. Khalil Mack's out here, CJ Mosley, Nakobe Dean I saw. Gray Jared's back out there, trying to bring him back. So there are a couple free agents that I would consider. Tackle is another one on the offensive side of the ball that I will also consider. Maybe we bring back Caleb here. Taylor Moton's out here, so I don't know just yet. So I got 3 targets here. Martin Everson here. He's the big free agent trying to bring in to solidify this secondary some more. Taylor Moton at tackle, and then Nakobe Dean at linebacker. So a few guys that we're trying to bring in. Evaluate. We got Nakobe Dean. We did not get the corner. That is unfortunate. But Dean comes in. That kind of helps out our front 7 a little bit. And now my attention turns maybe to Kyle Gordon. Yeah, I feel like I need to make this addition to the secondary. So we'll target Gordon. It won't be as much money, but I think he could help solidify us a little bit more. I can't believe I keep doing that. We did bring in Gordon. Taylor Moton has yet to decide, I believe. So a couple free agent additions, still $25 million. Let's shift gears to the draft. Current state of the team. So Taylor Moton did not sign with us. So tackle is important here early on. Other than that, for this offense, we're kind of complete in my eyes. Defensively, we need help in the interior. I think we have our 2 linebackers. I think we have our secondary. Besides safety. Safety is a position of need as well. So defense and tackle is still a need. We start off here at 25. So let's sim to our pick and let's have some fun here. We'll start off here in the interior to the defensive line. James Jenkins here. He's an excellent, he's excellent in terms of creating pressure, but 72th ranked. We very much reached on this pick. But James is our selection, and hopefully I did not just draft a bust. Staying in the front 7, drafting Jeremy Matthews here. Just trying to get some help in terms of this linebacking, and another reach here. Oh man, I'm already having another bad draft, and we have another 2nd round pick. I might just trade this for future picks. We're trading our 2nd round pick to pick up the next year's 2nd and 4th from the Eagles. I just don't think I'm going to be able to make much more of an impact here. So I do have 2 picks also here in the 3rd round, and I'm considering trading both of them. So trading these next 2 thirds, I just don't want to make any more selections here. We're going to get a 5th and a 7th for this year's draft and a 2nd round next year. So we'll go in with some ammunition next year, and maybe I'll have some better luck, because that was not a good start here. And looking at our 2 players that we drafted, James Jenkins is a 72 overall. I am going to start him day 1. He should develop theoretically into a solid player. He was just more of a 2nd round pick. I would have liked that a much better. And then my other selection in Jeremy Matthews here will also probably start day 1. It's not looking good. I think I just kind of set this team back another year. CPU was able to get some solid depth. Hopefully they'll be able to help us out in some type of way. We need defensive line depth mostly. As we're gearing up for year 3 of this 5-year rebuild, we're seeing the emergence of a superstar receiver and already a very talented offense. Offensively, we look very complete. Besides, you know, we're having to bring in an undrafted rookie tackle who should be able to play pretty well for us. Hopefully the right side of this line does not struggle too massively. Defensively, we have solidified the secondary, I believe so, with Terrell, Gordon, Landry, and Bates. We'll figure out strong safety later on, but I do think that we've helped out this defense. Nakobe Dean is also new. I think with the 2nd-year players, everyone has to step up. Here in year 3, you know, we made it to the postseason. We won a playoff game. My expectations is to get back there. Let's get to the mid-season point and see where we're at. Well, this is not a site that I thought I was going to see. We're 1-6 here. A major step back from even all the way back in year 1. Penix isn't doing much. Our ground game is struggling. Offensively, we're not doing much of anything. Defensively, same thing. Pretty much 1 interception so far. We have an average ranked, in terms of yardage, an average ranked offense and a very much of a below average defense here. Are we going to be major sellers here with our potential free agents? Jesse Bates is out here. Drake London, our starting left guard, Darnell Mooney. Wow, we have a couple important starters. Same thing here with Jake Matthews. So any of these guys do I want to consider trading? So Moody could be one of them. I don't think I want Matthew here to leave. I just can't see myself. I just don't want to replace a guard realistically. So he needs a little bit more time. For Drake London, he has not done much of anything. And I think we have to keep Jesse Bates. So Bates stays on a 4-year extension. Drake London, do we keep? I don't know. Can we try? Drake, will you take this? And he does. So We re-signed London and Bates. Oh, Bates did not sign, excuse me. So we signed London. I think I'm going to trade away Moody. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. So I'm trading away both Jake Matthews and Darnell Mooney with a third and a second round pick this year to essentially get a first round pick. We also get a player just for cap reasons. This is not a good year. Year 3, let's sim to the postseason. Let's get out of this year. And we went 3-14. We won 2 more games. I assume we have either the first or the second overall pick. Penix had an okay season, 25 touchdowns, 15 picks. I just can't blame him, but I also don't really know what the issue is. At least in terms of this offense, we had excellent playmakers. Casey Washington also popped off the back half of this season. I mean, it's definitely unfortunate, but I don't really understand. Defense kind of turned it on later in the season. Only 3 interceptions total. I don't know. Maybe we'd have to improve more the defense. Let's see if we have any players. I doubt it. We were not very good, and it shows. I mean, we have our kicker, so that's good to know. Let's get to the postseason. As the Indianapolis Colts win the Super Bowl over the Dallas Cowboys, Julian Blackmon is your MVP. We had no Pro Bowlers. No point in pointing that out to you guys. We have a lot of money. I guess I should assume that Kirk Cousins retired. Let's do these upgrades. I think we have a couple players that I still need to at least attempt to bring back. But we're gonna go into this open free agency with a lot of money here. So Jesse Bates and Matthew are the 2 players that I definitely want to keep. Bates, I'll offer him this. I will gladly franchise tag either or. For Matthew here, we'll raise it a bit to try to keep him around. Declines the offer. And you're staying here. We're gonna tag him. We're gonna give this 5th-year option here to Michael Penix. And then I don't think that there's any other moves I want to make. I would like to keep Koo around. Good kicker. So yeah, let's go into open free agency with a boatload of money. Kirk Cousins retired. So let's go have some fun here. We have a ton of capital here. And our biggest needs on offense is the 2 tackle position, 3rd receiver, depth at positions, and then defensively, outside linebackers, safety, corner, safety maybe. But Benson here has developed into a 72 overall safety. He could be something. Maybe, but regardless, we need to help out this tackle situation and help out the defense in any sort of way. We have $130 million, and Elton Jenkins is the best player available. This is not good for us. We can get upgrades, but they're not going to be these massive ideal upgrades. So do I trust myself in the draft? Trenton Simpson here, he could be a solid addition, but we've drafted a couple players. Kenny Clark. Emil McLean here. He could be actually a very good fit for our defense, trying to keep it around. Trent Brown, I might just target. I don't know. So I'm going to try to make a couple moves here and see what we can do. So I'm helping out the trenches here, and at least I'm trying to. And Lee McNeil, he's the big free agent. Tried to get Tyron Smith here, Trent Brown, just to fix the tackle for his season. Luke Van Ness and Alex Felix to help out the 2 defensive lines. Couple decisions have been made. Alex Felix comes over, and McNeil goes to the Texans. So defensive tackle becomes a key need. We're getting competition now for the 2 tackle spots, so Kenny Clark becomes now my favorite defensive tackle, who I am going to offer because we need help on the defensive line. So we'll go after also Clark. We'll see if any of these guys will consider coming here. We got the 2 edge rushers for 2-year deals, but we didn't get anyone else. I'm just now trying to fill out this team. I'm making some short-term contracts out here to some low-end players, and we get a lot of them. Hopefully that can help us out in terms of starters and not having to try to fix everything in the draft. As we're entering into this draft class, we have the first overall pick, guys, so I can't mess this up, hopefully. Should consider the 3rd receiver potentially. Tackle, just because we have 2 band-aids for this year. We improved this defensive line, I feel like, bringing in a couple good veterans. I think front 7 is in need. You could argue in corner safety as well. Savage is only a temporary fix. We have 2 top 11 selections. So what can we do here at number 1? So it looks like there's a couple tackles and a couple pass rushers that we could take. There's a safety, a receiver, quarterback situation. There's 1 guy in this class, and I am probably not going to do that here. So let's see what we'll do instead. Edward Spencer will be the first overall pick in this class. Spencer, in my eyes, is the biggest need for us as an edge rusher. We have lacked any sort of presence there, and I've added a ton of players to go get to the quarterback. Edwards, I hope, can help us out a lot, and he's ranked 60th in the class. He's hidden dev too. My God. Here with the 11th pick, we're gonna stay on the defense. After a bust, hopefully Antonio Haynes is not here, as he is ranked number 3. So hidden dev, strong safety. Hey, you know what? That does make it up. That makes me feel a little bit better here. But we now have a couple 2nd-round picks to work with. Let's hopefully get some more good players. I wanted to end this, I wanted to leave this draft with at least a future tackle. And Stanford here, he's the guy, 23 years old, and 72 in true value. Hidden dev though, so that makes up for it a little bit. We had it to reach a little bit to get a tackle. With our other 2nd-round pick, Dylan Price here, a wide receiver. I haven't taken too many top playmakers, and Price, he's a pure deep threat, and hopefully that could stretch out the field a little bit for Michael Penix. There's another reach on my end. Draft recap. So I made 4 picks. Edward Spencer, hidden dev edge rusher. Okay, I feel like his speed was not 84. I don't remember. Maybe I was looking at his strength instead. But hey, that's actually a pretty solid pick. It's not good for the 1st overall pick. Antonio Haynes would have been a better 1st overall pick. He is a top tier safety, and I'm happy about that. 80 overall to start off with. And then getting a future tackle, future receiver. The CPU got us a couple good running backs. So here in year 4, look out, as this will be the roster for year 4, this 5-year rebuild. We help out in this past offseason getting a couple tackles. Hopefully that can solidify this offense a little bit more. Got a young receiver in Price here, who's a pure deep threat. And then defensively adding a couple big-time starters here and helping out the front 3, bringing in a lot of different veterans. Hopefully one of those guys will stand out. Let's get to the midseason point, and hopefully we have a better start than a 1-6 record. And we're 3-3. Not too shabby. I don't think that I'm gonna make any sort of re-signing. Well, I know I will. I don't think I'm gonna make any sort of trades though. I see a lot of key starters that we definitely need to keep, especially on the defensive side of the ball, as they have developed pretty nicely for us. And a couple linemen. So let's start here though with Bijan Robinson. I just don't want to see him go. Get him. Rook here. Also gonna try to keep him. He stays on a 2-year deal. And then for these two, we're going to have to probably increase this number pretty significantly as I'm already kind of low on cap. He is playing hardball. And I think for right now, that will be the last thing I tried to do is try to keep him. I don't really want to tag him again. But let's sim now to the playoffs. Can we make it back to the postseason? That's the real question. And we can make it back to the postseason, going 9-8 as our team definitely improved. Michael Penix had a bounce back season, turnover prone though with 17 interceptions. 37 scores passing, but 8 on the ground, 1,100 yards for Bijan Robinson. Drake London pops off as our receivers produce pretty well. Rodney Stanley led us in sacks. Defensively, see, we got some pressure at least, so that's nice to see. Good amount of TFLs and some interceptions across the board. So the team played collectively a better year. MVP is Anthony Richardson. Drake London is the offensive player of the year. So that's nice to see. I don't think we'll see anyone else. London's the best receiver. So yeah, so London has a fantastic year finally. But we're back into the postseason. We're playing against the Seattle Seahawks. We are the 6th seed, so we made it as a wild card team. Let's see if from the 6th seed, if we can go be Road Warriors. We get our first victory in a while here in the postseason, beating them 34-31. Now we have the New Orleans Saints, and we beat them, getting to the NFC Championship game, beating them 17-10. So now we have the Carolina Panthers, who, at least in terms of this year, I don't really know how good they've beaten us, but it's a divisional foe. Can we make it to the Super Bowl here in year 4? And I don't think we did. I think I would have seen a screen. Here's the Pro Bowl list. Don't care about that right now. I want to see the playoff bracket. And we fell to the Panthers 24-18. Close battle here. Did not go to overtime, but it looked like our offense just couldn't really get going. So we have another off season trying to win a championship. We got all the way to the NFC Championship game. So that's, you know, a nice thing to see. You know, in terms of award winners, no quarterback, no running back. London's the best receiver. And then after that, I don't think we had anyone else. Chris Lindstrom, Taylor Moton got in, so that's nice to see. So we had a few Pro Bowlers. Nakobe Dean, I also saw there late. As the Panthers win the Super Bowl, they won 28-21 over the Indianapolis Colts. Jonathan Brooks is your MVP. And we have one more year last offseason to make any sort of adjustments and try to win this championship. So in terms of re-signing players, we have $56 million. Matthew is still very much on my mind. I want to keep him for this last year. And he does not accept that contract. The tag would be 21. I'm doing it. Leaving us with $35 million. We'll pick up Landry's 5th-year option. Why the fuck not? And then for everyone else, I just don't see myself bringing anyone else back. We'll go into open free agency with $34 million. Maybe there's a cut or two I can make, but the free agent pool has been terrible. How is it this year? Because that will make some decisions. So there's a few potential players. Quinton Mitchell could be a fun addition. Javarius Ward, Xavier Worthy's out here. So there's a couple. It's definitely improvement. Let's see our needs. Let's see if I can make any cuts. So the current state of the team, definitely needing a tackle. Stanford will be a starter. He comes out as star development. Don't see any other changes in terms of depth traits. Haynes comes out as a star 74. I think our defense, if we can add someone, that would be great. But in truth, that would most likely have to be another linebacker. I think our front three is kind of solidified right now. I would say it would be another linebacker and another tackle is really what I'm looking for. So I've used up all of my money. I have 3 targets: Jalen Ramsey, Chop Robinson, and Laramie Tunsil here. You'll play either left or right tackle for us. I think if we can get these guys, that would be great. We got Ramsey, but we did not get, what's his name? I already forgot his name. Oh, God. Chop. So we lost out on him. We got Jalen, though. And now Jacksonville wants Tunsil, and I can't really let them take Tunsil. So linebacker is still very much needed. We have $10 million. I will definitely target a different linebacker. No linebackers, so let's get to the draft. Let's see if we can make any significant moves here. The current state of the team right now, we did not bring in Tunsil, so tackle becomes kind of like my top thing to consider here in the first round. I'm not thinking about weapons. I think we're okay here other than tackle on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, we have a very good secondary. I think a solid enough defense or linebacking room. I honestly think entering into this class, tackle is our one and only need. You could argue third receiver. We select 29th overall, so let's see what we can do. Evan here will be our selection. He is a right tackle. He'll be picked number 29th. And I have been terrible at drafting, and he is not a good prospect. I have hopefully a 70 overall. I'm going to make one more pick for you guys, and we'll move on to year 5. Last pick will be a tight end. Best player available, I feel. Parker is the pick. Ranked 16th in the class, and he's an athletic freak. Who knows, he might be our third receiver. I made 2 picks in this class. Evan was the first one. Normal dev, pass protector, tackle, who is solid, kind of. He needs a lot of work. The strength worries me, but he'll be our starter, so we're going to have two unproven tackles. And then Parker Batezier, a vertical threat with excellent speed. He's kind of like a wide receiver in my opinion, just much heavier. He might play in the slot for us this year. I see the CPU drafted again, a top tier running back, so that's good for us. But let's get into year 5 and see if we can make it to the Super Bowl. So this will be the roster for year 5 of this rebuild. This is our last chance. I have stuck with Michael Penix throughout this whole thing, and you know, he's developed okay. I wouldn't say he's a franchise level quarterback, but star dev, 87 overall. Not too shabby for a 28-year-old, but I think we have the team. Maybe we downgrade at tackle. We might have upgraded a little bit more on the defense with Ramsey coming in. But at the end of the day, I don't really know. We'll see. Let's go out there. Let's finish year 5. At least get back to the postseason. If you guys like today's action, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I know this is a bit different than probably other 5-year rebuilds, especially because I think a lot of people start after the current off season and stuff. But I hope this is a little bit of a change of pace for you guys who consistently watch my videos. I do appreciate you guys all. Like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought. Let me know who you guys want me to rebuild next. Well, no postseason for us. We go 6-11, just like how we started. Yeah, not very good. 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions here for Michael Penix Jr. I would say if I continued playing, I would probably tag him at this point in time because I don't know what type of quarterback he is. He is so inconsistent. But that would be my decision there. Bijan Robinson has proven to me that he's a top tier running back. Parker Batezier, he played very well. He played actually in the slot for us. He actually developed very nicely. But at the end of the day, guys, I don't really know what went wrong here. Maybe it's the playbook. I don't usually touch that. But we did develop a receiver here from, you know, a 4th round normal dev to a superstar, you know, a top receiver in this league. Nothing, you know, standing out as outstanding, but still, it's something. We actually developed this offensive line very well. Brad Carr here, he developed nicely as a center. He's a top 6 center in the league. So we did make some draft picks. I would say that this was definitely not my best drafting. Brian Pierman here, he really did not develop into the linebacker I wanted him to, but you know, he had some solid success. Our first ever selection, he was a corner. Did he register an interception? He did not. Trey Landry here, who I drafted pretty early in this franchise, only got to an 83 overall. He started off as a normal development guy. He only picked up 2 interceptions throughout, you know, the 4 years here. So unfortunate there. I think, you know, for some of these other guys like Ruth here, he slowly developed into this guy, but he wasn't that like that to start off. And then drafting first overall was Edward Spencer, and he never took off either. So maybe it's the scheme, maybe, I have no idea. But yeah, guys, 5-year rebuilds are back. I am going to be trying to do these episodes maybe once every week, once every 2 weeks. It really kind of matters once I kind of get myself a consistent schedule here. But I do hope you guys enjoyed today's action. I know, I don't even know if we've won a Super Bowl yet doing one of these. But I hope you guys liked today's action. If you did, subscribe to the channel, comment down below who you think, who you want me to rebuild next. And like the video, it really helps out a lot. And I will see you in the next one.